Well, g'day everybody. So it's 5 minutes past 9 on 27th of October, and the sun's shining here in Les Abdelone between the clouds. And we're a bit late because we just got it, and in fact, I'm in shock, in complete shock. And what's happened? I heard Jane speak French for the first time in her life. Whoa! She's been learning French for the last year or so. Anyway, we just had a delivery coming from some stuff that was ordered, and she's on the phone with the French guy, and all of a sudden she let rip with French. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so we're little bit late, so we got the delivery, and the theme. This is another really funny thing. We're just talking, and that was some cheap stuff, but some food actually. Anyway, that you can't buy in the shop. So we're talking about affordable adventure, and while I'm waiting for people to turn up, I got a watch. I've got a Ralph Tech watch on here, which is about €1,800. I've got another one. I call it my big dick watch, because if you got a big dick watch, anyway, it's one of the big diving watches that everyone wears. You know, I'm very conservative. You know, straightforward, simple. It's like about €3,800. Just one. €3. And it's a watch. Anyway, it's kind of funny. We went through that whole routine about watches, you know, and I did a story about watches on the GGR side, because they can only have wind-up watches, and how people ask me all the time, what's the best value watch to buy? And it's not about the watch, it's about the movement, what's inside. So if you're interested in that, because for best wind-up watch you need a particular type of movement, it's not the case, because you can get one watch which costs €500, and it's got exactly the same movement inside the watch as one that costs €4,000. You know, because that's the case on the outside, paying for the marketing. Ralph Tech's a really nice watch. You know, I like it. They were our partners at one point. But anyway, so that's those little pictures. I'll talk about that in a minute when we've gone through the tracker, and see if anyone's around. A few boats upside down, and just talking about sailing. I love it. You know, in the ocean 50s, fantastic. America's Cup, fantastic. Sail GP, fantastic. GGR, fantastic. There's something in it for everyone. You know, I think it's all really interesting to watch. And a lot of people bag the America's Cup and things like that. Yes, it's changed, but hey, sailing, that's the beauty. There's lots of choice. You know, you can do whatever. So plenty of things happening there. And I'm just going to check this. Jane's just out on the other one. I just want to see that we're still going live here. Because, we are. I can see people coming up. It was a bit slow there. I only saw one person, two people. Now we've got 9,000 people there watching. So I'm going to go straight to the tracker, because there's a development in a minute. And it's quite interesting. So I'm going to put you on the tracker. There we go. And I'm going to go on the tracker now. So I'm on the tracker. And here we all are, heading down towards the bottom of Madagascar. And lo and behold, Pila's cut the corner. So that's a bit dramatic. Let's see if she can recover from that. She slowed right down going through, but she's actually done pretty well to get across there. We're currently 245 days into the MGR. And here comes Pila. She got across, which is cool. 8 o'clock. She's doing 5.7 in the last one. Just back here, she was only doing 3 knots or something. So anyway, the good news is she got across. Interesting when you see the wind shadow here. It's more like a bit of a pressure system, maybe even sitting there, because this is a westerly breeze coming from the west. Down here, it's coming from the east, of course. But anyway, she's lost out on that decision. Anyway, must have got cold feet looking at the weather. And to give you an idea now, all of a sudden if we go straight line course, if she comes out to about there, she's nearly 68 miles behind Renault up the front there. So after a day and nearly not quite 2 days. So anyway, it's good to try these things. You never really know. There's winners and losers, and that's how it works out. But anyway, she's catching up with the rest of the fleet, doing 5.7 and managed 78 miles. So Josh still hanging in there, 5.3 knots, 121 mile day. That's not bad. Then the fleet spread out a bit across the route. So Jacob still lagging back, 5.8, 125 mile day. Next on the line, they're all beam abreast, so bream along. So Eric, 125. Everyone's holding position by the look of it. 5.6. Then we've got Jasmine hanging in there, right in the middle of the fleet, which is good to see. She's actually caught up ground, which is pretty impressive because she was behind a bit at the beginning. 5.6 knots, 134. Adam, 5.6 knots, 131. So Jazz is powering past 3 miles in the last 24 hours. Urton, 5.9, 130. So he's got a bit of boat speed on at the moment, but he's lucked out in the last 24 hours by about 4 miles on Jasmine. Christian, 137, going wide and doing okay. 5.9 knots, so 137. And then Dan, just sitting in the wake of Renault, 5.9, 139 mile day, still powering on it compared to the rest. Look at that, Renault, 141. Now, is he going flat out or is he just pacing himself? I still don't know. No one will ever know until the finish. You know, that's what I've been saying. It's that he doesn't want to. Imagine if he's a really super hot sailor instead of just a normal hot sailor. He could be, 10, 15 miles in front, but he might be just backing off just to sit in front of Daniel to psych him out and not get him too excited. Daniel thinks, so why bust my butt now to get past him? I'm still really close and in touch. Let's just see how close everyone is. It's he's within shooting distance. You're probably looking at him. Yeah, 3 miles. So if the sun's in the right direction, he'll easily be seeing that the Renault's on the horizon there. Probably he'd see his nav lights because nav lights are meant to go at least 2 miles. So 2 to 3 miles, he's probably seeing that. Knows his AIS, if his AIS is on. I haven't heard anyone talking about shipping and stuff, but there is going to be quite a bit of traffic on this leg. So I think they'll all be powering up the AIS. So that's kind of interesting. Not forgetting Kerry over the side there now. No really definitive lead group at the moment, but Kerry's powering back. 5.8 knots, 131. Still not as fast as the leaders. Eric, 5.6, 125. So there's 6 miles behind. 6 miles behind Kerry in the last 24 hours. So all interesting stuff, but it's still early days yet. But it's fun watching a group start again, everyone on the line. So they've got similar weather. In fact, the weather is really quite kind for everyone right now. And as you saw yesterday, it's just going to slowly die off a little bit now. And they're enjoying the ride. So let's just back it back here and see. Interesting, the course, they're all going for the squeeze by the look of it. This is the direction they're going, and they can see that the breeze is going to hold along here, and there's the current as well that was hanging out. But let's just look at the wind progression for the moment. If I hit that, I'm just going to push it through every 3 hours. So we're looking for 8 o'clock tomorrow. It's all very pleasant and dying slowly. There it goes. That's the 27, so that's a day and a bit. In fact, I'm just going to go back here and just click at it exactly near enough. So that's 24 hours. They're going to be 100 miles ahead. I'll just we've got the time here. I'm just going to show you where approximately 100 miles is. There it is there. So they're going to be in that sort of area by tomorrow, somewhere around here, if you can see my cursor, for day one. And then just for the hell of it, if they get another 100 miles, they're going to be about there. So when we go through to the next weather, if they can keep up that 100-mile rate, that's about where they're going to be. And now come back here and go another 24 hours slowly. It's still a nice breeze. The spinnaker material. That's pretty cool. So there's the next day. It's slow. They should be making 100 miles maybe. We've got a bit of work to do to chase it, maybe a little bit less, but I think that's probably about right. So there's day 2. We'll go through to day 3. There's day 3. Yeah, by that stage, they should be 300 miles in front of where they are now, and they'll be in that breeze line at that point. Okay, so they should be reaching that. So that's today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By Thursday, they should be there. And let's just kill that. and hit that again, and we'll go through another day, see what we got on the 31st. Yeah, they'll jeepers, I wouldn't want to get too far behind. The ones at the back are going to get lighter winds than the ones at the front. So there's day 4. Okay, so let's just still see how the long range forecast is looking. So there's day 4. Now I'm just going to push it through, jump through pretty quick now. Hang on a sec. So that's for the 31st. So then here we go. There's the first, still favourable direction. Jeep is looking all right. Still favourable on the first, and then they're going to run into some interesting things. But that'll dip them south. You can see if you look at that. This is by the time they get to the second, the majority will be through that into here. It's going to be drifting, coming that way. It's on the beam. That's still looking pretty good for long range stuff. And then they got a bit of headwind stuff. That's interesting. This was what I was saying before. It's a bit late. Mentioned this about Saturday. They might get it, but this will be Sunday. Monday, they got a little bit of light headwinds, which is fine. Sea state will be down. And then it's coming back really, really well. There's the third. If you're watching this now, if they're down in around here, you can see what happens. It's back on the beam, but it's not heavy. I'll just show this, and it couldn't be better because it's developing from effectively a high pressure system below them, and that's going to give them pretty good weather all the way through there. Yep, they're on the top of that high. See that roaring down? So that's the 4th. The strong ones in the north, that's the 5th, and then bingo, there's a little bit of funny stuff there. So, okay, nothing to worry about even there's nothing to worry about. We'll see how it develops, but but they'll be in amongst this lot then, that transition. So that's right through to the 5th. So that's 4, that's 9 days. Now, in 9 days, if they're doing 100 mile a day, that's 900 miles, and they could manage that. They actually could manage that because some days they'll be doing a lot more, but let's just see where 900 miles is. I've got to put a bend in that, so we'll go 500 to here, 500 to there, another 400 to there. Okay, that's about where they're going to be. They'll be within Kui. Now the trick is then, let's just look at the currents. This is where it gets really interesting. So they don't want to run into this one down the run line. They're going to have to be north of the run line there. They'll lock into this, get a big boost, kick it through. They'll all be aware of this current. Then when they get to here, they may sail in. This is where everything's going to start to change right here with the breeze and the bits and pieces. And the objective is to try and by Richards Bay here. We always you've got to be watch out for the southerlies or the southwesterly winds here. Usually it'll be southwest. It might come up. There's Durban there. Certainly, you'd be looking to come down here on the north of the run line, and heading for Richards Bay is probably a good idea because once you start to cross the last couple hundred miles, you get hooked up with the Agulhas current there, and you don't want to hook onto this ride and get swept further south. So being up here somewhere, that looks pretty good. And these currents have changed in the last week because there was a huge negative countercurrent here, which is now gone. This is the remnants of it. You don't want to come into that, but it's not as strong as it was in the past. Anyway, that's what they got there. So we come back here to the wind and come back here to the fleet. Look at local currents, maybe. That's what they're reaching for. So not a lot happening until they get somewhere. But yeah, that's a good one. We get onto that and lock down because the forecast is suggesting they'll be fine following breezes on that. So no wind against tide. That's pretty good. The current sea state is pretty mild, I'd say. Yep, all looking good. Oh, hang on. That's it. The current didn't matter. The current forecast on this only goes for 2 days. So anyway, pretty mild seas there. Nothing really building at all. There's some confusion there on the 30th, but starting to get bigger as they get further down. But nothing to worry about. Clouds. What have they got? Blue sky. A little bit of overcast at the moment. If I push that back there, yeah, a little bit of overcast. Pretty good. Okay, I think that's about all I can tell you there. You can see who's where and what's happening. So I'll come back here and say g'day, a few people. So this was This was the oh, yeah, this is the big deal. I've just put the pictures on. This was the start of the Transat Loire, which used to be Jacques Vabre and so on. But anyway, these are the you probably read about it if you're following sailing. These are the Ocean 50s, a class of 50-foot multi-hulls going ballistic. You think this guy's on his ear? Look at the guy at the back. He's completely launched himself. I don't know whether you can see that. Anyway, they lost three of the boats in the first 12 hours. Ended up capsizing. One got some damage, I think, and that lost stability in one hull, and then they went over. The other two got blown over. But incredibly exciting. There's a video of these guys starting. It's just stunning. It's quite cool. So super high tech, super interesting. This was just talking about affordable adventure, the GGR. This was yesterday. This is Guido, Italian guy, in a Vancouver 34, typical cruising boat, which you can buy for about 50 grand, not cheap, 50,000 pounds or something, 50 to 70,000 pounds. Great cruising home. Set it up for the GGR. Go do the GGR, and if you fall in love with your boat, you hang on to it. There he is there. But if you want to sell it, you can sell out of it, and it doesn't cost you hundreds of thousands to do the GGR. The reason I say that is this is Daniel's boat, the Israeli guy. We did a big thing about it. So the asking price on this boat was 40 grand, and it's in really good condition. It's got a lot of gear, a lot of work done on it, this, that, and the other. So, $40,000 boat. You can, if you're clever and you're handy, you can set your boat up for less than pay your entry fees, all your safety gear, set your boat up less than 100 grand, and you're in the GGR. And when it's all over, your boat's probably worth 60 grand. So it's not the end of the world to even do the GGR. Mini Globe Race, well, there was that one that went from auction, a tracker, went for like $300, and I reckon you could have equipped that and set it up for probably 15 grand, and you've got everything you need. Another 15 grand or so, maybe a bit more, and you're ready to do the MGR. That would have been cool. And even I put this in because this is our boat for the OGR. There's this is beside the point, but another entrant, Christoph, bought a Swan 57, same boat. Did the refit with the crew. He had 25 different crew. They all put labour in to do all the refit and all the rest of it. Paid the entry fee, which was 50,000 euro entry fee. Got all the safety gear, set it all up, did the race. Basically, at the end of the race, sold the boat, and it cost him nothing. Work that out, right? That's what we said you could do with the OGR, and that's exactly what happened. They had the time of their life. All the crew contributed about 4,000 euro per leg, per crew member. There's 4 legs. That covered costs. He only had about 30,000 worth of maintenance on the way around, and when he sold the boat at the end, it cost nothing because it's the capital cost to buy into the boat and get going. So that's part of what we do, and now it's all about the MGR. It can be expensive. Some of them are spending a lot of money, and they're having a lot of fun. And I get comments every now and then about saying, whatever, this meant to be for the cheap, for the affordable guy. It's life costs money, and you can't do anything for nothing, but you juggle what you're doing. And there's a couple of people looked at building a 580, but realised they really didn't have the budget for that and didn't need to do some things, so they built Setkas instead, which is a little 5-metre boat, and they're coming across the Atlantic again. They have the Setka 100, which is a race from Portugal, and same thing across the Atlantic. A lot of fun, a lot less money than the 580, and it's a slightly different experience. So affordable adventure. I always say to people, you don't need money. You need money, but you don't need money. It's not what people think. Most people think you got to have 300,000 to do the GGR. You don't. You can do it for less than 100 grand if you're clever. And you're handy with your hands, just so you can not have to pay for labour. I'm not so much that I'm not handy with my hands, but we're too busy, so I'm paying people normal commercial rates. So we're paying something like £65 plus VAT an hour for most guys working on the boat, electricians and stuff like that. So anyway, part of the course. Where were we? Questions? Comments? Nothing. Everyone's gone, so that's easy. Yesterday was the big catch up to get started, and all seems to be going very well. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. I need to put this on first.